Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I just wanted to run through some of my experiences using the Canon R5C, which Canon calls their true hybrid camera. Obviously it works fantastic for both video and stills. The one major drawback, I'm going to just dive right into this, is battery life. And I had probably a worst case scenario trying to use this camera here recently, trying to film action during a football game over here at the university, and trying to be camera ready whenever the action is taking place on the field. Pretty much keep your camera on standby if you're not rolling all the time. And this camera it chewed through 3 batteries in less than a half of football. And I quickly realized that I was not going to make it through the whole football game using this camera unless I was being very selective about turning it on to the video side of things and then trying to do my best to predict what was going to happen on the field, which made for a very frustrating experience. So afterwards, I knew that if I was ever going to do that again, I had to come up with a different solution. And so basically what I did is jumped on YouTube, looked what some other photographers were doing, or videographers, to overcome the limitations of the battery in this camera. And so what I ended up doing is putting together a little bit of a kit. Thought I would share it with y'all, because as I put together this kit, I realized kind of another issue that came about that I needed to kind of correct. And there's probably more to come, which I will, if that does come to pass, I will share those in the comments down below. And if you have any suggestions, please feel free to share those below as well. So to get around the issues with the battery that comes with the camera, I went out and grabbed a VMount battery. Now this is the FXLION battery. None of this, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, by the way. I will put links down below if you're interested in checking some of this stuff out. Feel free to do that there. But this is a super small 50 watt little V-mount battery. You got your USB hookups up top. It's got a really nice screen kind of here on the back that gives you the voltage, tells you what's going out and powering everything, as well as a battery level indicator. A lot of these just have the level indicator. This one's got a little more going on up top. They also make them in different sizes if you want to get something with more capacity. Just know that they get bigger. This is as small as they get. So this guy I picked up, and you can probably try to figure out a way to mount it to the camera. By the way, I always keep camera cage on this just because it is a hybrid style camera. I just keep this cage on here, and I've got my Peak Design clips here mounted to the cage. So I have this on here when I'm shooting photos as well as video. So that helps me out when I do need to rig this thing out. So this is the best way for now that I've found to work with this V-mount. And what I've gotten here is a V-mount plate by SmallRig here, and then I've got some of their rails. I think these are the 15 millimeter, I think like 6-inch rails. So I've built kind of this chassis here, which is fully adjustable with these knobs here, so you can slide this in and out. And so your battery basically clips right on here. You've got a release button right here when you need to take it off. You need to switch things. And in the thoughts of it being, this camera being a hybrid camera, I wanted to easily kind of be able to remove it from this chassis, this rig. And so I've got a quick release plate, well, not really quick release, but just a Arca Swiss plate here that I can screw on. So I can place the camera in the rig here, screw it in, and then I'm good to go, with this whole rig. If I, I'm finding I'm in a situation where I don't need the V-mount, I can unplug it from the camera, quickly unscrew that, and then I'm off to the races with adjust my camera. All right, but for this setup, let's go ahead and I'll build this thing out the way that I've got it at this point. So tighten that back down. So I'm hooked here. I flip out my screen. I have limited space here with this V-mount and these rails. I want to keep it as compact as possible. So we need a USB-C to USB-C cable. I like the ones with like a 90-degree right angle mount. So you can plug this in right here, bring it into the top here. You can, use your right angle either end of things. And so at this point we have power going to the camera. We can use this as is, and this would actually have solved basically all my issues that evening. Another thing when you're using just the camera, at least in my case, with the lack of IBIS in here, and that leaves you basically reliant on the stabilization and the lens. And when you have a light setup with just like the camera, I tend to get some, I guess, little small hand movements, some shake, camera shake, which can be good based off of whatever you're filming, but I find with a little more weight added to a rig, it's easier to kind of take that out of the equation. So this is kind of how I like to hold it in this case. And then what this battery does too back here, it gives you another point of contact. And so it helps keep things as stable as possible. I've got a zoom on here now, so like during that football game, I could zoom in or zoom out, that type of thing, and be good to go. Another addition I like with a rig like this is a top handle. And SmallRig makes some perfectly great top handles. They've got all kinds of different ones. And so this, it mounts right here. At the same time, I'm not going to put it on and take it off. But what I was finding is when I would have the handle mounted on top here, and then keeping myself where I can see the screen, I was holding it with my right hand and then using my left hand underneath to work my lens and add more stability. But what that was doing, it was blocking my access to the record button. So if I'm like this, I've got to basically switch hands, push record, then switch back, and then I'm good to go. Might seem like a minor gripe, but there is a better solution out there, and that is this Condor blue handle with the record button here on top. Let me put this guy on. And so I can mount this here. And then what this is here for the Canon, I believe they call this a N3 cable. And this plugs right into the front of the camera here, right below the lens. And so now, when I'm holding the top handle and I've got my other hand here, I can start and stop recording with this little button on top of the handle. Super, super convenient. This is what I was doing before, having to go over here, push that, and then come back up. This way, I can keep my focus on what's happening in front of me. All I have to do is push with my thumb. I don't have to go over here and then here. Like I said, it's a minor thing, but when you're using this and using it in that type of scenario, super, super helpful. Just since we're building this out, let me just show you. So I'll put a mic on for that type of situation. This is another SmallRig, kind of a mount here with the dual ball system here, so you can place this how you want it. I kick it out so my fingers aren't hitting. Get it up here on this cold shoe mount. And so I can put that there, and then this plugs in down here into the mic switch, mic input there. And so here now I've got sound. The great thing about this Sennheiser mic that I've come to learn is, well, I knew this one of the reasons I got it, is that it turns off and on when you turn the camera off and on. I am notoriously bad about leaving these on, including like the mic I'm using here. And this is for the mics that are battery powered. And it's just, it always happens to me. Then I'll go grab my mic, go to turn it on, and the battery's dead because I've left it on in my bag. So this one takes care of that for me. I mean, just about every YouTube video I leave this thing on. I got to change the batteries when I come in here to record another one of these. So this is, we got sound now. We've got a record button on top of our top handle. We've got power. If you want to, you can also add a screen, a monitor here. Let me get that cable out of the way. So this makes someone like my life a little bit easier. This is just a FeelWorld, nothing too expensive monitor, just to monitor what I've got going on with focus and stuff like that. Obviously, I've got an HDMI out or into the HDMI here, micro HDMI, unfortunately. I don't have the cable yet to power the monitor, but we can power everything off of this battery pack, this VMount here, or obviously we've got the battery situation back here on the back of the monitor. This is where I am now. Next time I head out to the field, this is what I'm gonna roll with. It's got a little more weight to it, but this is really not that heavy. What I might do is after this video, I'll go weigh this and I'll put the number here on the screen. But I just wanted to share this with y'all. Because of how frustrating it was to try and use this R5C for a case where I needed it on standby and ready for action at any point during the filming of a football game, and just running through batteries and then having to be so cautious about the battery power that I was missing shots during that game. So like I said, I wanted to come on here and share this with y'all. If you found it worthy, please hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more content just like this, hit that subscribe button down there below and the little bell that notifies you when I put up another video. You can find me on social media at quantzphoto on Instagram and Twitter, as well as ProLight Mods. Y'all stay safe and healthy, and I will see y'all soon again in the next one.